Good morning everyone, today is another pre-maintenance checklist video, which means we're going over all of the different things which are ending with the coming maintenance. But before we jump into all of that, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe, as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. Now, the very first thing I want to go over is what Kero learned today, because I learned something pretty interesting. So, for those who don't know, a blanket cover is called a duvet. I did not know it was called a duvet. I thought a duvet was something else. I thought that was the thing that you put over your blanket, but no, it's actually the blanket cover itself. Yeah, the more you know. Anyway, back to the video. Alright, with that segue out of the way, the very first thing I want to talk about is, of course, the Eminence in Shadow collaboration is ending with this coming maintenance. So if you did want anything from this scratch, you better pick it up quickly. Let me just point out the high value items over here. The first one is gonna be the motion dash shadow. So this is literally the teleportation thing that like everyone has been asking me that ever watches my live stream. They're like, Kero, what is that dash? How do I get it? It looks so cool. And yes, it does look cool. It's probably the coolest dash in the entire game, but it is the motion dash shadow. Let's take a quick look. Ooh, 15 million, that's a lot of money, and it's only gonna go higher. Now, other than the motion dash, the motion jump is equally as cool because it also makes you teleport as well, and of course the motion glide is also really cool. So you basically want all three of these if you want them to sync together, and so all of your motion items are in sync, and they, yeah, this is just the ultimate peak badassery of motion items. However, they are all gonna cost you an arm and a leg. Ooh, ow, that is painful, and ooh, these are expensive. But they are expensive for a very good reason, and once the supply dries out, well, I think these prices are going to go up even higher. Now, with that out of the way, the next thing I want to talk about is going to be the anti-cheat thing. You may have noticed on the top right window over here, when it's just browsing through here automatically, you know, you see a giant yellow sign and it's like, ooh, transition to anti-cheat program for the PC version. So this, again, only applies to PC players, but we are transitioning to the full-on Welbia implementation, so GameGuard is being absolutely obliterated and kicked out of the system. For those who don't know, for the past year, we were able to choose whether we wanted to use GameGuard or Welbia as our anti-cheat if you played on the PC. If you play on console, nothing changes for you. You guys are perfectly fine. This only applies to the PC players, so just understand that if you are playing on PC, you might want to check if Welbia works well with your computer, if it's compatible, if everything is fine, because after the maintenance next week, we will all be forced to use Welbia. Now, from my personal experience, Welbia works better for me. I've actually gotten more frames because of Welbia. It's used less system resources, so for me personally, I'm fine with it. It works perfectly fine on my system. However, again, if you are on an older system or if you play other games that have their own anti-cheat stuff, you know, Welbia doesn't play nice with having multiple anti-cheats running at the same time. So a great example is, let's say that you're playing Black Desert Online and PSO2 at the same time, or Valorant and PSO2 at the same time. You know, those anti-cheat systems kind of clash with each other, and they usually will cause one of those games to crash. So just keep that in mind. But then again, I don't really know anyone that actually plays Valorant and PSO2 or BDO and PSO2 simultaneously. Yeah, that's a little bit weird, and that's kind of a flex if you have a strong enough PC to run both of those games, but I sure don't, so meh, whatever to me. Now, moving on to the item recycle, as usual, you want to pick up your 50 star gems over here. Pick this up every single week, because 50 star gems, who can say no to that? There is 50 alpha reactors that you can pick up over here again. Now, if you are running low on the NEX cubes, because you know that is quite a lot of NEX cubes needed every single week, you might want to go to the item lab, go to exchange enhancement materials, other enhancement materials, and right here is the NEX cube. And again, you can turn all of your braver EX cubes or whatever class EX cubes you want into additional NEX cubes, so you can keep exchanging. As you can see right here, we just got another like 300 NEX cubes. Put that in my material storage. We're gonna sell this 50 for another 175,000 Meseta, easy peasy. Now, with that out of the way, we are going to come over to the item trader, go to the Growthment 2 exchange. Please make sure that you get your beta reactors every single day. This is 100,000 Meseta every single day for literally just clicking 2 buttons. And then of course you get your 10 star gems also every single day. So please just make sure that you actually do this because it's just too good to pass up. You know, it does add up to 700,000 Meseta every single week. It is pretty significant. Now, another thing that is equally as significant is the clear Lasalle exploration 10 times a week. Now, this is a little bit troublesome because you're like, oh my god, I have to run Lasalle exploration 10 times a week. But, you know, it's part of your dailies anyway, so you're gonna run it one time every single day. You know, just on the weekends, run it a little bit more so that you finish the 10, or do what I do, and literally on the first day, I just run all 10 back to back, because it is 8 Augment Transfer Pass vouchers. Remember, the Augment Transfer Pass vouchers are a pain in the butt to get because they are a limited time item. You are at the mercy of Sega putting out all of these different events, as well as limited time tasks in order to earn these, as well as titles, of course. But the TLDR is it is very difficult to obtain a bunch of these Augment Transfer Pass vouchers. So when it's easy to get, you really need to stay on top of things and jump on this so that you can get a bunch of these, so that, you know, when the new armors or the new weapons or the new whatever comes out later down the line, you can just transfer all of those augments over and save yourself a bunch of Meseta as well as a bunch of headache. Don't be like me and re-augment everything and spend a bajillion, gazillion, bajillion Meseta and yeah, pain pecco. Other than that, there are, of course, you know, your daily tasks, so just make sure that you complete all of your daily tasks. You can actually get a total of 10 star gems. I still need to do 2 more daily tasks in order to finish all of them. And then, of course, there is the Suppressed Darkfall Solace, so make sure that you do clear this once so that you get an additional 20 star gems. Now, something that is optional but something that I do every single week is, of course, the Suppressed Enemies with Mars. This one just requires you to kill 1,000 enemies with Mars. I do believe going into deck space is probably your best bet. Basically, just kill enemies normally, and once that PSE burst spawns or pops, then you immediately go into your Mars. And then for me, I just like to use Nidhogger, which is the buzzsaw or the chainsaw, and I just hold down left click, and it just keeps extending the time. So literally, as long as you have like 50 or 60% charge on the Mars, it'll last for like 2 PSE bursts if you just hold down left click, and it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, you're gonna get your 1,000 kills literally in like 2 PSE bursts, maybe 3, but it'll fill this up very, very quickly, and that way you get another Mars bar as well as 10 additional star gems. Alright, the next thing I want to remind everyone is to do your ARKS Records. This time it is the South Retem Dash. You just need to participate to get your 20 ARKS Record badges. Remember, you don't get your 20 ARKS Record badges immediately. You get it next week after the maintenance. So you just want to make sure that you actually do it so that you can actually have the star gems in order to pick up an additional 20 star gems every single week. As you can see right here, it's going to cost you 20 ARKS Record badges for 20 star gems. So you're going to do this every single week. Now, if you have additional ARKS Record badges because you're just a badass and you're just really good at this game, well, you can use those additional ARKS Record badges to get another 10 star gems if you choose to do so, but it's going to cost you another 20 ARKS Record badges. So for me personally, since I am not a badass with the ARKS Records, I am not going to buy the additional 10 because, you know, my ARKS Record badges are kind of limited. As you can see, I only have 68 left. Now, another thing to also pay attention to are, of course, the weapon camos. If there is anything here that you do like, it will cost you 10 ARKS Record badges per weapon, and there are always 4 different weapon camos, which rotate every 2 months. So you have plenty of time to pick them up, but, you know, you just want to make sure that you do buy them eventually if you do want any of them. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is going to be, of course, the Genesis Point Exchange Shop. So if you do want anything from the Genesis Point Exchange Shop, you might want to spend your Genesis points to pick them up over here. Again, Master Fragments, Foundia capsules, as well as any of the limit breaking stuff, or LC capsules. Maybe you're a newer player, there are a ton of items that you can pick up over here. Now remember, everything down to Grand Dreadkeeper LC are a weekly reset. From the monotype downwards, these are the ones that reset monthly. So if you do need minerals, you can buy a ton of these minerals for very, very cheap. You know, you can buy 200 of each mineral basically, and it's not going to cost you that much. It costs 8,000 Genesis points. We're going to buy that right now, actually. And you can do this every single month. So, you know, just buy these out whenever you can, because minerals, they're kind of annoying when you suddenly need them. But if you're on top of things, you know, it's pretty easy to get a bunch of these. Now, there is also a mineral farming route that I did make a video like 2 years ago, and it's still valid. It still works exactly the same way because they haven't changed the location of the minerals. But, you know, it is a little bit time consuming. It does take like roughly 30 to 40 minutes if you're gonna do every single map from like, you know, Alio, Ritem, and then go to Kavaris, and then Stia. It is gonna take you a little bit of time, but if you do that, like, you know, maybe for a couple of days, you're gonna get a metric butt ton of minerals. Or you can just be like me and be incredibly lazy and just buy all the minerals from the Genesis Point shop, because it gives you 200 of each mineral every single month. So that's a very easy way to obtain a bunch of them. And last but not least, I just want to remind everyone to use your Alliance badges to pick up another 30 star gems. So make sure that you do that. So wabam and wabam, 30 star gems obtained. Now, in order to obtain Alliance badges, I don't really think I've reminded people how to do that, but you literally accept Alliance tasks over here and you complete them. And every single task will give you 2 Alliance badges. So it's super easy. And on top of that, it also helps your Alliance ranking. So if your Alliance ranking is like in the top 5% or 10% or something, you actually get 2 beta reactors. So that's like 200,000 Meseta every single week. But you know, you don't have to go super try hard on that. It really depends on your Alliance. If your Alliance is super try hard, then yeah, you can try to go for the silver or even the gold. But for my Alliance, you know, we just go for bronze. We literally, as long as you just do at least 3 Alliance tasks, everyone in your Alliance will get 100,000 Meseta every single week because they get a free beta reactor.
Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye.